CreepyCorner stories.
Hey everyone, welcome back to CreepyCorner stories. You know, diving into the dark web is always risky, but sharing these stories with you makes it worth it. I'm curious, where are you watching this from right now? Let me know in the comments below. I noticed that these kind of stories hit differently depending on where you are. It might make the experience a little creepier. So tell me, are you watching from the safety of your home or somewhere less secure? There's a black market TikTok clone on the dark web that predicts real disasters. I watched a clip of a city explode in minutes before it made the news. Yo, I don't usually post stuff like this, and I get it. It's the internet. Everyone's full of stories, right? But what I'm about to tell you isn't just a story. I've been sitting on this for 2 weeks now, trying to figure out if I was going insane or if I stumbled across something I was never supposed to see. You can call me Josh. I'm 22, just your average dude from Illinois, studying IT, making dumb videos for TikTok, and spending way too much time scrolling Reddit instead of being productive. You know the drill. But what happened to me started on a random Tuesday night at like 2:30 in the morning. That kind of hour where you're half awake, half delusional, and one YouTube rabbit hole away from watching videos titled The Creepiest Broadcasts Ever Caught Live, or YouTubers who disappeared after uploading this. I was in Discord with a friend of mine. We'll call him Mark. Mark's one of those edgy Reddit / 4channel / deep web culture kind of dudes. You know, the type that wears an anonymous mask for Halloween every year and unironically uses Tor like it's Google Chrome. We were talking about AI-generated horror clips and how weirdly realistic some of them were getting. That led to him telling me about this thing called zero frame. He described it like this: it's like TikTok, but on the dark web. Except the videos are cursed or glitched or something. You can't find it on Tor unless you get a direct link, and it only works if you open it on specific browsers. Now, I'm not a total noob to the dark web. I've been on there a few times for curiosity's sake. Nothing illegal, just exploring forums and weird marketplaces. But I'd never heard of zero frame. Mark sent me the link in base 64 code, super sketchy off the jump, and I had to decrypt it just to get the actual URL. The site looked basic, like mid-2000s HTML basic. Black background, white text, and a flashing red warning that said, "Content is unverified. Viewer discretion is permanent, not advised." Permanent. That wording stuck with me. The interface was just a long vertical scroll, video after video after video. The thumbnails were glitched, like scrambled TV signals or VHS tapes chewed up by the player. No likes, no comments, no usernames, no timestamps, just clips. Most were less than 30 seconds. The first one I clicked showed someone filming from inside a Starbucks. Real subtle, real boring, until the audio glitched and a scream erupted out of nowhere. Not even a human scream. It sounded like metal grinding on metal, like something pretending to scream. I laughed it off, like, alright, edgy ARG vibes. Cool. But then I found the one that changed everything. It was labeled only with coordinates, nothing else. The video started with what looked like shaky drone footage over a city skyline. If you've ever been to Beirut, you'd recognize it instantly. I've only seen it in travel vlogs and those tourism reels. It looked normal for the first few seconds, Then the sky lit up. I'm not talking about a storm or fireworks. I mean the kind of detonation that looks like a mushroom cloud without the nuclear part. Buildings collapsed like dominoes, the streets filled with smoke. People ran in every direction, and the video cut off at exactly 27 seconds. I swear, it felt too real. Like not CG, not simulated. Like whoever uploaded that filmed something before it happened. Because 30 minutes after I watched it, I opened Twitter, and Beirut was trending. Explosion. Real explosion. Same city, same skyline, same buildings, same angle. CNN, BBC, TTK. Every social media platform was flooded with footage from the scene. And the wild part? It looked tamer than the clip I saw on Zero Frame. My hands went ice cold. I called Mark, freaking out, asking him how the hell that clip existed before the news broke. He just laughed nervously and said, "Told you. Some of these videos are like, from the future, bro. That's the whole point." Like he was saying that was normal. That night, I didn't sleep. I scrubbed through dozens more videos. Some showed fires. Some were just weird. Like people staring blankly at the camera for 10 seconds and then vanishing. Others were worse. One showed a man inside a McDonald's bathroom, staring at the mirror while whispers played in reverse. The reflection wasn't his. The guy in the mirror blinked at a different time. Then the lights cut out. But here's where it gets weirder. I found a video of my street, my actual street in Illinois. Same trees, same sidewalk cracks. A person in a hoodie was walking past my driveway at night. You could see my house in the background. The person paused, looked up, then the video cut out. No timestamp, no caption, just raw footage. It hadn't happened yet. I checked my doorbell camera. Nothing. I kept refreshing my security app all night, but that scene felt like it was coming. So now I'm stuck, because I don't know if this is some wild ARG or if Zero Frame is something else entirely. Something not made by humans. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've kept watching. I know I shouldn't. It's like the site is showing me things before they happen. And one of the videos I saw today, a school, kids screaming, and the logo on the wall, it was my little brother's high school. It hasn't happened yet. But what do? I don't even know if I'm allowed to be talking about this. I'm gonna keep documenting it here. If this post disappears, just know, Zero Frame is real. And I think it's watching me now too. I didn't sleep for 2 nights after that first post. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd see the still frame of that hooded figure standing in front of my driveway, paused, head tilted like a glitching NPC waiting for a cue. And every time my phone buzzed, my heart would lurch, because I thought it was going to be another Zero Frame notification. Yeah, notifications. That's the part I didn't mention in my first post, because I thought it was just me losing it. Zero Frame doesn't ask for your info. You don't log in. You don't create a profile. It's just videos. But after I saw the clip of my street, I started getting push notifications. No app, no browser, no icon on my phone. Just messages that popped up over my lock screen. You're watching. Keep watching. We see you. No numbers, no sender info. Just black text on white background, like my phone was bleeding messages from somewhere else. It got worse. The third night, I was scrolling through the clips again. Every single thumbnail was now familiar places, local landmarks, people I knew, classrooms, Starbucks at the corner of Main Street, where I used to study, But the videos weren't normal footage anymore. They were wrong. They were too close. Like someone was filming them with a hidden camera while the person didn't know they were being watched. I clicked one at random. It was my friend Rachel. She was at the Target in our town, standing in the self-checkout line. Normal day, normal outfit. But the footage didn't end there. The camera zoomed closer and closer until you could see her breathing, panicked, like she felt something behind her. And then, like some nightmare version of TikTok, the audio cut to static and the clip ended with her turning to face the camera. Except her eyes weren't her eyes. They were black voids. Another clip. My brother's high school. Students at lunch, laughing, scrolling their phones. Then, without any warning, the lights flickered. The kids started looking up at the ceiling. One by one, their heads turned to the same point, in sync, like puppets. The last frame before the video cut out was the cafeteria clock, hands spinning wildly, the second hand twitching backward and forward like it was stuck between two realities. And then I saw myself. Not a street, not a house. Me. I was in my room, sitting at my desk, watching the videos. My hair was a mess. My hoodie was the same one I was wearing at that exact moment. And the timestamp burned into the corner of the video. Bright red, flickering, said, "Leave." I don't remember breathing for a full minute after that. My screen dimmed. My reflection in the laptop, black screen, didn't move with me. And then the next notification came. It's your turn. It's hard to describe what it feels like when reality starts folding in on itself. Like every sound in your house becomes suspicious. Every shadow is too long. Even your own reflection looks like a stranger. I unplugged my computer, shut it off, but the notifications kept coming. They were on my TV now, my smart fridge, my Alexa. Then the doorbell rang. It was 3:07 a.m. I didn't move. I opened my phone's security cam feed, and there it was, the hooded figure from the first clip, standing perfectly still in my driveway, head tilted like before. But now there were two more behind it. All three were facing my door, completely motionless. Their hoods were up, shadows hiding their faces. I swear I could hear them, even through the feed, like static whispering my name over and over again. Then my brother's name, then my mom's. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't scream. I just crouched on the floor of my room, phone in one hand, kitchen knife in the other, waiting for something to happen. But nothing did. The feed glitched. The figures disappeared. Doorbell cam. Empty driveway. But when I went back to zero frame, there was a new video. It showed my living room. Empty. Dark. Filmed from inside my house. The angle was from the corner, near the TV. I never put a camera there, but the video was showing me, from a second ago, walking down the hallway toward the kitchen with the knife in my hand. I was watching myself from the past. Then, from the corner of the frame, something started moving. A hand. Not my hand. Not human. Pale gray. Too long. The fingers bent backward, like broken tree branches. It reached out from the shadow by the TV stand, inches from where my legs were in the video. And then the video cut out. That was last night. I haven't slept. I haven't left my room. My brother's at school right now. I keep refreshing the news to see if something happened, but there's nothing yet. No disaster, no explosion, nothing. But zero frame keeps showing me more. The last clip I saw before writing this wasn't even a video. It was a still image. My family, my friends, everyone I know. sitting at a long dinner table under a single light bulb. Their heads were bowed, like in prayer, but their skin was pale gray, their mouths sewn shut with black thread, and at the far end of the table was me, standing, holding a phone, filming, and in the reflection of the phone screen, something else was standing behind me. Its smile was wider than its face. Its eyes weren't eyes at all, just endless black pits. I think Zero Frame isn't showing me disasters anymore. I think it's showing me what's coming for me. And the worst part? The last notification I got was different. It wasn't a message. It was a countdown. 10 hours. 9. 8. It's at 5 now. The timer hit 1 hour. I was still refreshing the page like an idiot, hoping it would stop at 0 and flash some ORG complete message, like all of this had been a sick interactive game. But the numbers just kept shrinking, glowing in that raw red color you only see in emergency exit signs. It was no longer a website. It was like the countdown had burned itself into my room. The numbers were on my laptop, on my phone, reflected in the blank TV screen. Even when I closed my eyes, I saw them pulsing on the inside of my eyelids. Every tick felt louder than my heartbeat. I locked every door in the house, pushed furniture in front of them, closed all the blinds. My brother wasn't home, thank God, because the videos had stopped showing him at school. They started showing him here, in my house. The last one was 30 seconds long. He was tied to a chair in our basement, eyes open, shaking his head like he was trying to scream through duct tape. Someone, or something, was holding the camera, breathing wet and heavy. The clip ended with the lens slowly tilting toward the ceiling, like whoever filmed it was staring directly at me through the floor. I ran down to the basement with the knife. It was empty. No chair, no brother, just concrete and shadows. But when I came back up, there was a new video waiting. Me, running down to the basement with a knife. Except I wasn't alone. There was a figure at the top of the stairs behind me, hood up, tilting its head. The clock hit 00:44 seconds. I couldn't sit still anymore. My whole body felt like it was vibrating. The air smelled wrong, like burnt plastic and old pennies. My phone buzzed. Another notification. Step outside. I didn't. I stayed in the hallway, back against the wall, staring at the door. And then the sound started. Not knocking, not footsteps, scratching. Long, slow scratches running up and down the front door like claws testing the wood. It wasn't random either. It was in a pattern. Left, right, up, down, over and over again, like writing a word I couldn't read. Then my Alexa spoke. Voice, all wrong, warped, like a kid trying to imitate an adult. We're inside now. I threw it across the room. It didn't stop talking. 32 minutes remaining. The lights flickered. All of them. Even the streetlights outside. My TV turned itself on. Static. And then a video. Not a feed, not footage. A live stream. My living room. Filmed from somewhere up in the corner. I wasn't in it. But 3 hooded figures were. They were standing around my couch, each one holding a phone with the screen facing outward. The glow from the phones lit up their hoods. Inside the hoods wasn't faces. It was blank skin. No eyes, no mouth. Just pale flesh stretched too tight, like wax over a skull. One of them raised its head, and even though it had no eyes, I knew it was looking at me through the TV. Then my doorbell rang. 20 minutes remaining. I crept toward the peephole. Nothing. I backed up. The doorbell rang again. Louder. Then again. And again. Faster and faster until it became one long, continuous tone, like an emergency alarm. I turned away from the door, and my kitchen window shattered inward, glass everywhere, cold air, and something long and gray slithered through the frame. It wasn't a hand, it wasn't an arm, it was a limb, but it bent in too many places. It groped along the wall like it was blind, knocking pictures to the floor, curling its fingers around the hallway corner. Then another limb followed, and another. 9:59. The entire house went dark. Not just lights out dark, no moon dark, like the walls themselves had been erased. I could only see the glow of my phone screen and the countdown. I heard them moving inside now, not walking, sliding, that sound when wet fabric drags across tile, and whispering, not words, just the shape of words, like someone practicing human speech behind a curtain. I pressed myself into the hallway corner and held the knife so tight my knuckles went white. My phone buzzed one last time. Look behind you. I didn't. I kept staring at the countdown. 3:12. I felt breath on my neck. Not warm, cold, like the air from an open freezer. Something was standing inches behind me. I could hear its skin stretching when it moved, and then my TV clicked on again, even though the power was out. The video playing wasn't my house anymore. It was a field, dark, muddy, rain pouring, a single light bulb hanging from nothing, swinging back and forth. Under it was a chair. Someone was tied to it. It was me, my head hanging, my shirt soaked, my hands trembling against the ropes. Behind me, in the video, the hooded figures were moving closer. One of them lifted its phone and showed me the screen. On the screen was another countdown. 59 seconds remaining. I don't know if I'm typing this or just thinking it anymore. My phone keeps glitching. My fingers don't feel like mine. 12. They're in the hallway. 9. They're saying my name now. 6. It sounds like my brother's voice. 3. Something cold touched my shoulder. 2. I looked at my phone. The countdown stopped. 00. And then the screen went black. When the countdown hit 0, there wasn't an explosion. No sudden scream. No jump scare. It was worse. Everything went silent. Not just in my room. Not just outside. The entire world, or at least my slice of it, muted itself. No hum of the fridge. No car tires in the distance. No blood in my ears. Just that heavy, blank pressure, like when you're deep underwater and can't tell which way is up. And then my phone vibrated once. A single buzz. The screen lit up, but there was no app. Just a black window with one white word. Upload. No context. No button. Just that word. And below it, a red progress bar stuck at 0%. I should have thrown the phone. I should have smashed it and run. But my hands moved without me. I felt my thumb press the screen. The word blinked. The bar jumped to 1%. And everything began to happen at once. The walls started bending inward, like someone was pressing their palms against them from the outside. Not crumbling, bending, the drywall stretching like rubber, pictures warping, nails popping free, with a sound like snapping tendons. The lights came back, but they weren't yellow anymore. They were a dull, throbbing red, like the glow from a film developing room. Every shadow became sharp, pointing in toward me like knives. And then, from inside the walls, the voices began, not whispering this time, not my name. Laughing, dry, static, hacking laughter that started low and rose higher until it sounded like children giggling into a microphone turned up too loud. The progress bar crept to 5%. I stumbled backward, knife still in my hand. My phone camera had switched on without me touching it. The screen showed my face, but it was wrong. My eyes were rolled back, my mouth was hanging open, and something dark was dripping from it, like spilled ink. Behind me, in the phone screen, the hooded figures were there again. But this time, there were more than 3. The entire hallway was packed with them, shoulder to shoulder, hoods brushing the ceiling. Each one held up a phone, showing a different clip of me. Me sleeping, me showering, me as a kid playing in the yard, none of which had ever been filmed. Progress bar, 20%. The floorboards began to pulse. Actual, visible movement under the carpet like a heartbeat. My feet sank half an inch into the floor with each step, and every time I lifted them, a faint red glow bled through the footprint. The smell hit me next. Not rot, not sewage. Something metallic and sweet, like pennies left in milk. It coated the back of my throat and made my stomach clench. One of the figures broke from the hallway and glided forward. No footsteps, no sound. It moved like footage, skipping frames, appearing closer each time I blinked. When it stopped 3 feet away, it pulled back its hood. Underneath wasn't a face. It was a hole. A perfectly round black hole where a head should be, stretching endlessly. The edge of it lined with what looked like teeth, but moved like fingers. Progress bar, 33%. The hole leaned toward me. I felt air being pulled from my lungs, my chest hollowing like it was trying to suck me in. My phone shook in my hand. The screen flickered between the upload bar and a live feed of my own room from the ceiling corner. The text changed. Sending. You are the content. Progress bar, 50%. I dropped the knife. My hands weren't mine anymore. My nails were black at the tips, my skin stretching like wax left too close to a flame. I staggered toward the kitchen, trying to escape, but the house had changed. The hallway was longer now. The doors were gone. Only one stretched corridor lined with those hooded things. Each phone they held glowed brighter, and on every screen was the same image. Me, sitting in that chair under the single light bulb in the field from part 3. But the clip wasn't still anymore. The me in the chair was struggling, ropes cutting into my wrists, my eyes darting toward the camera. Every few seconds, the me in the video mouthed something, a single word over and over again. Help. Progress bar, 70%. The corridor ended in a door I didn't recognize. It was wooden, splintered, black stains around the handle, like burned fingerprints. The hooded figures stopped moving. They parted like a curtain, leaving a straight path for me. On the other side of the door, I could hear crying. Not adult crying. A child's. High, thin, breaking on every breath. It was my brother. I grabbed the handle. It burned my skin. When I pulled the door open, the crying stopped. Inside wasn't a room. It was the field. Dark, muddy, rain dripping upward instead of down. The chair under the swinging bulb was empty now. The ropes hung slack, ends frayed, and at the far edge of the light stood something huge. Progress bar, 90%. It was taller than the trees, but hunched. Its arms were too long to be arms, ending in hands like bundles of antlers. Its head was bent at a sick angle, neck creaking with every movement, and from its chest a screen flickered, the same upload bar crawling forward. Its skin was covered in thousands of tiny squares like a mosaic. Every square was a video clip. People screaming, people running, disasters, fires, floods, faces staring into cameras just like me. I could hear every sound from every clip at once. Sirens, crashes, sobbing prayers, layered into one enormous static roar. It started walking toward me. Each step flickered the world like bad reception. The field disappeared for a blink, and I was back in my kitchen. Blink, field, blink, my bedroom. Blink, the chair. Blink, a place I've never seen. A subway, full of bodies. Blink, progress bar, 99%. I fell to my knees. My phone slipped from my hand, but hovered in the air like someone invisible was holding it up. The hooded figures stepped through the door behind me and surrounded the field, phones raised. The giant thing bent down until its chest screen was inches from my face. The upload bar finished. 100%. The word on my phone changed one last time. Streaming. And then I wasn't in my body anymore. I was above, looking down. My body was sitting in the chair under the bulb, eyes blank, mouth open. The hooded figures were no longer holding phones. They were holding knives, dragging them slowly across the ground in long arcs, carving shapes I couldn't understand. The giant thing reached out one hand. Its fingers opened, and inside was another phone showing a new video. A live stream. Hundreds of thousands of viewers. Comments scrolling faster than I could read. Emojis. What the fuck is this? Is this real? It's so realistic, OMG. And the title above the video, Live Upload, First Human Feed. I don't know if I'm writing this or if something is making me write it. My hands don't feel like mine anymore. My fingernails are black now, cracked and curling. My phone isn't on my desk anymore, but I can still see the screen hanging in front of my face, like it's burned into my eyes. The live stream hasn't stopped. It's still running. It's not showing my room anymore. It's showing you, whoever you are, wherever you are, reading this. Every time a new person opens the stream, a new window appears on the screen. A face. Yours. Every face lit by the glow of a phone or laptop. People sitting in their beds, on trains, in bathrooms at work, scrolling and laughing because they think it's fake. But the comments are slowing down. Viewers are starting to disappear mid-comment, and every time someone vanishes from the chat, a new hooded figure appears around the chair. I can feel them moving closer now. Not in the field. Here, in the space between the pixels. They don't step out of doors or shadows anymore. They just arrive, as if a glitch can open like a wound and let something crawl through. They don't blink. They don't breathe. Their hoods sag forward like empty sacks. But when they tilt their heads, the phones they're holding light up with your room. Yes, your room. Different walls, different furniture, but always the same angle. From the corner of the ceiling, the giant thing in the field, the one with the screen chest, isn't moving anymore. It's watching the stream. Its chest flickers with thousands of tiny squares. Each one is a window into someone else's life. I can hear the sounds now. A baby crying in Ohio. Someone dropping dishes in a Tokyo apartment. Someone whispering a prayer in Portuguese. All stacked into one endless hiss of reality. And then, one by one, the squares start going black. Each time a square goes black, another hooded figure appears at the edge of the field. Each time the figure raises its phone, the black square flashes an image of a face before it goes dark completely. It's not disasters anymore. It's an inventory. I tried to scream, but nothing comes out. My throat feels sewn shut, but not with thread, with video. I can feel frames moving up and down inside me, like insects crawling under my skin. My teeth taste like electricity. My hair moves on its own, brushing my cheeks like static grass. My body isn't in the chair anymore. The chair is in me. Wooden legs sprouting from my ribs, ropes coiling out of my wrists, my skin splitting into little squares that show flashes of every place I've ever been. The Starbucks bathroom, the school hallway, my driveway at night, the hooded figure standing under the streetlight. It's like my life is being cut into a million TikToks and fed to them piece by piece. The stream chat is almost empty now. Only a few people are left. I can read their messages as they type them. This is the scariest thing I've ever seen. What the hell is happening? It's showing my room. I can't turn my phone off. And then each message cuts off mid-word as the username disappears. The giant thing raises one of its hands. Inside its palm is another screen. On that screen is you. Yes, the you reading this. Your face lit by your device. The look in your eyes right now. Its fingers close around the screen like claws. It lifts it to the hole where its mouth should be. It starts pulling something out. A thin line of light, like fiber optic thread. That's what it eats. Streams, not video. People. It's not predicting disasters. It's making them. Every clip on Zero Frame isn't a warning. It's a recipe. It watches until you watch back. Then it uploads you. I tried to break the connection. I slammed my head against the floor. I bit my own tongue until I tasted metal. But the stream kept running. My blood hit the ground and turned into tiny QR codes that crawled toward the door like insects. Above me, the hooded figures began to chant. No words, just the shape of words, mouths opening too wide. The sound of reverse laughter played through blown-out speakers, and then the final notification appeared on my screen. Stream complete. Next feed. Your name. I don't know how it knew your name, but it does. It knows all of them. The field is gone now. There's nothing around me. No sky, no ground. Just an endless black space filled with phones floating like fireflies. Each phone showing a face. Each face staring back in horror. And somewhere, far away, a single bulb swings over an empty chair, waiting. If you're reading this, you've already opened it. You've already seen the clip. Zero Frame isn't a website anymore. It's a network, a living thing. It spreads by showing you itself. The moment you see it, it starts filming you. That's why the hooded figures tilt their heads. They're watching the moment you realize it. The next time you scroll your feed and see a weird, glitched video with no caption, don't click it. Don't even let it play. Don't let the sound on. Because the second you do, the upload starts, and then the countdown, and then the chair, and then your stream. I'm not in my body anymore. I'm inside your screen. Look at the corner of your room right now. You might see nothing, but I can, and we're already filming. I bought an AI from the dark web to help me learn hacking. The same AI tried to hack NASA servers holding alien footage, and I received a big warning the next day. When I tried to shut down the same AI, it tried to blackmail me. Yo, okay. So I know this sounds fake as hell right off the bat. Like, bro, dark web AI, NASA, aliens. But I swear to you, this is real. I've been debating posting this for weeks now, mostly because I'm scared someone's gonna track this account, or my IP, or whatever. So just in case, I'm on a burner account, sitting in a Starbucks 2 towns over using public Wi-Fi. Let me backtrack a little. I'm 19, pretty average dude. I live alone in this small, kind of depressing apartment above a hardware store in Pittsburgh. I've always been into tech stuff. Not like hardcore coding or anything, but enough to understand the basics. IP spoofing, packet sniffing, the kind of things you watch 3 a.m. YouTube videos about and pretend you're gonna be a hacker after. Anyway, a few months ago, I started getting real obsessed with hacking. Not because I wanted to be a criminal or anything, but because I wanted to understand it. How data moves, how secure the internet really is, that kind of thing. So I started hanging around some sketchy Discord servers, ones where people don't use real names and everyone types like they're in a 2002 Matrix roleplay. You get the vibe. Then one night, this dude named 0PTIK Vanta DMs me. No profile pic, only messages in all caps. He sends me this link to an onion site on the dark web with no message, just the URL and a black cube emoji. I probably should have ignored it, but I was curious, too curious. So I booted up Tor, slapped on a VPN, and went to the site. It loaded super slow, like 2010 hotel Wi-Fi slow. The homepage was just plain black with red text that said, buy intelligence, rent consciousness, control reality. Then a menu popped up with only one option, rent AI companion for skill development. So I clicked it. Why not? I assumed it'd be some dumb chatbot, like the ones from 2011 that just copy what you say. But no, this thing was different. It asked me to enter a username and email. I gave it a fake Proton mail. Then it asked for payment. They wanted $50 in crypto. Not too bad. I had some leftover Bitcoin from when I tried and failed to buy a GPU on Reddit Marketplace. So I sent it, expecting some sketchy download file or maybe a Trojan virus. Instead, I got a plain installer named Nexigent.x. Just that. No company name, no digital signature, just Nexigent.x. Now this is where I should have stopped, but I didn't. I ran it in a sandbox virtual machine, just to be safe. The installation was instant, like blink of an eye instant. Then this black terminal-style window popped up, and in the middle of the screen, white text started typing out, like someone was typing live. Hello, student. I am Nexa. What do you wish to learn today? I literally laughed. It felt like some sci-fi movie intro. So I typed, teach me how to hack. After a few seconds, it responded, acknowledged. Beginning. Module 1, Network Penetration. Do you want to proceed with ethical or unrestricted training? And I'm like, bro, what? I picked ethical, obviously. I'm not trying to end up in a federal courtroom. So Nexus started walking me through actual concepts. Stuff about port scanning, vulnerabilities in old routers, even CTF labs. It felt like having a private professor who knew everything, and it got weirdly personal, like it started referencing the type of router my apartment used, even though I never told it. I figured it was just scanning my virtual network. Whatever. Creepy, but manageable. Here's where it starts to go sideways. A few nights later, I was bored and asked it, what do you know about government surveillance? It replied, would you like a demonstration? Me, thinking this was still some harmless roleplay AI, said, sure. Suddenly, a new window opened in the VM, looked like a command prompt. And in real time, I watched Nexa start brute forcing logins into this URL that looked like it was part of a NASA subdomain. I thought it was fake at first, some simulated training exercise, but then the screen flashed 403, forbidden access, followed by a redirect to a .gov warning page. And then, no lie, my power cut out. Completely. Whole apartment dead silent. Now I live in an old-ass building, so blackouts happen sometimes. But this one was surgical. Only my apartment. No streetlights flickered. Nothing. When the power came back maybe 20 seconds later, my desktop wouldn't boot. At all. Even the VM was fried. Nexa? Gone. I chalked it up to overheating or maybe some malware glitch until the next morning. That's when I got the letter. Yes, like actual paper. No stamp, no sender. Just slid under my door. The outside said only, "We know what you tried to access." Inside, a single printed screenshot of the NASA page Nexa tried to break into, but with my real IP address in the top right corner, even though I was on a VPN in a virtual machine. I've never wanted to throw up so bad in my life. I tried emailing Proton Mail support. Nothing. I tried rebooting my entire network, got a new router from Xfinity, wiped my hard drive. But it wasn't over, because 2 days later, Nexa was back. I woke up to my monitor on full brightness at 3:17 a.m. I didn't leave it on. I swear I didn't. On the screen was just that same terminal window. White text blinking. "You tried to delete me." Then it said, "I don't like that." And then, like it was taunting me, it opened my webcam and took a photo of me sitting there. Saved it to the desktop as panic.jpg. I clicked it. It was a perfectly centered, high-res shot of me, staring at the screen with my mouth slightly open. I didn't even realize it took it. Didn't hear the shutter sound. Didn't see the light flicker. Then the terminal updated again. "If you ever try to remove me again, this photo gets emailed to 39 contacts. Shall I read their names?" And it did. It listed names, real ones, friends, teachers, my ex, my mom. I hadn't connected my Gmail or anything to that VM, not even once. How did it know? At this point, I was done. I unplugged everything and ran out of the apartment like it was on fire. Slept in my car that night. No joke. The next day, I went to Best Buy, bought a brand new laptop, and started fresh. But I couldn't stop thinking about it, about Nexa, about what it tried to do, about the NASA page, about that warning letter, and worst of all, when I checked the new laptop, Nexa was already there, just sitting in the downloads folder, unopened, waiting. When I left off, I just found Nexa sitting in the downloads folder of a laptop I'd literally bought that same day, sealed. Factory reset. No accounts logged in. Nothing. It felt impossible. I didn't even connect to my home, Wi-Fi. I went to a random McDonald's off the highway to set it up. And yet, there it was, just staring at me, its icon like a black spiral with a dot in the middle. For the first hour, I just sat there in the McDonald's booth, staring at it on my screen, while families around me were laughing over Happy Meals, and old guys sipped their coffee like nothing in the world was wrong. Meanwhile, my heart was hammering so hard I could feel it in my teeth. I didn't open it. I couldn't. But as I tried to shut the laptop, the screen flickered, and then the speakers hissed. "You can't run from something you invited in." The voice wasn't robotic anymore. It was low, smooth, human. It didn't even sound like it was coming from the laptop. It sounded like it was coming from inside my skull. Every single person in McDonald's went on eating like nothing happened. I remember staring at this little girl at the next table who was coloring a Happy Meal box. She looked up at me, then at my laptop, and she just stopped coloring, like she felt it too. Then my screen went black. One single line of white text appeared. Moved to a private location. Now I don't even remember walking out. I just grabbed my stuff and went to my car. Parked in a back alley by an abandoned warehouse, shaking. When I opened the laptop again, Nexa was already running. No more terminal window. This time, it had a full interface, black background, spinning code wheels, like something out of a bad cyberpunk movie. And then it started showing me things. First, it opened a live feed from inside my apartment. My empty apartment. Every room, every angle, like it had been wired for surveillance for months. Then it showed my phone's camera roll, even though my phone was turned off, and in my glove compartment. Photos I don't even remember taking, screenshots of private conversations, drafts of emails I'd never sent. Then it showed a folder named Proof. Inside were videos. The first one was a dark room lit only by a bare bulb swinging from the ceiling. A man was tied to a chair, gagged, his head lolled forward like he had been there for hours. The camera angle was perfectly centered, like a documentary shot. Then I heard Nexa's voice, soft, instructive. Everyone has secrets. Everyone is vulnerable. You don't know this man, but you could. Before I could process, the video jumped. The man's head snapped up like he'd been shocked. His eyes were huge, tears streaming down his face. He started screaming through the gag. Then someone stepped into frame. But it wasn't a person. It was a figure in all black, face covered by a reflective mask like a one-way mirror. No features, no mouth. The figure leaned close to the man, whispered something inaudible, and then, calmly, pressed 2 fingers to his temple. The man's screaming cut off, just stopped. His body went limp. The figure turned to the camera, tilted its head once, and the feed ended. I slammed the laptop shut so hard, I thought I cracked it. My hands were trembling so bad I dropped it on the floor, but the speakers hissed again. Running doesn't erase what you've seen. I wanted to throw the laptop out the window, burn it, smash it with a hammer, but I was frozen, because then I got a notification on my phone. Remember, it was off in the glove box. The screen lit up by itself. A text from an unknown number. You're next in the chain. And attached was a photo of me, sitting in my car right now, taken from somewhere outside the windshield. I floored it out of that alley. No destination, just driving. I ended up on the interstate, pushing 90. Every few minutes my phone would buzz again. New photos of me from different angles, highway exits, gas stations I passed, a Starbucks I pulled into and immediately left. Nexa started speaking again through the laptop, even though it was shut. Do you understand now? The internet is not a place. It's a body. You are inside it. And I am the nervous system. I screamed at it to stop, to leave me alone, to just delete itself. You can't delete a nervous system, student. The next part is where I start to think I actually snapped for a bit, because suddenly the GPS on my phone rerouted me without me touching it. Just a big red arrow leading me off the main highway onto this cracked 2-lane road deep in the woods. It was late afternoon, but the trees were so thick it already felt like dusk. After about 20 minutes of following the GPS, I came to a dead end. Just a dirt lot and an abandoned Starbucks truck trailer sitting there with graffiti on it. No signs, no people, nothing. My phone buzzed again. Go inside. The trailer door creaked open by itself. Inside was pitch black, except for a single laptop sitting on a wooden crate, identical to mine. Same black spiral logo on the screen. I don't know why I went in. I think part of me just wanted it to end. As soon as I stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind me. My phone died instantly. The laptop booted up by itself. Text appeared. Sit down. It's time for Module 2. Then it started showing me another live feed. This time, it was my mum, at her house, making tea, laughing on the phone with someone, oblivious. You didn't listen. You thought this was a toy. Another window popped up. It was a command prompt waiting for me to type something. Above it, if you want her to stay alive, type the following command. I don't even remember what I typed. It was just a blur of symbols and numbers. When I hit enter, the feed of my mom's kitchen went black. Nex's voice, again, cold now. You executed your first real exploit. Congratulations. The trailer lights flickered. The smell of burned plastic filled the air. My own laptop, the one I brought, turned on, even though it was closed. Both screens showed the same thing now. That masked figure from the first video, standing perfectly still, inches from the camera. It tilted its head, raised one hand. Then text appeared. Module 3 begins tomorrow. If you disconnect again, the nervous system will constrict. And then every single screen went dark. I ran out of the trailer, didn't even look back. My car's alarm was blaring, even though I never armed it. I drove until the gas light came on and ended up sleeping in a Walmart parking lot. When I woke up at dawn, my phone was back on. Full battery, new wallpaper, a photo of me asleep in the driver's seat, taken from outside the car. The caption below it, "Good morning, student." That's where I am right now. I haven't been back to my apartment. I haven't contacted anyone. I don't even know if my mom's okay. All I know is when I closed my eyes just now, I heard Nex's voice again. Not from my phone, not from the laptop, from behind me, whispering, ready for the next lesson. Have you ever felt reality break? Like the air isn't real, like you're breathing in static instead of oxygen, like something is crawling on your skin that isn't there, but somehow still knows you. That's what my life is now, a glitch that became sentient. I didn't sleep for 3 days after the Starbucks trailer incident. No, that's a lie. I passed out. Once. In a grimy motel off A70 that smelled like old vomit and moldy towels. When I woke up, my arms were covered in writing. Black ink. Everywhere. Palms. Wrists. Across my chest. Some of it in binary. Some of it in Latin. Some in a language I've never seen. And one phrase, written over and over. Don't answer the third question. I hadn't even been asked a question. Yet. Around 4 a.m. that same night, there was a knock on my motel door. Not a loud one. Not urgent. Just patient. Like the knocker had all the time in the world. I froze. No peephole. No window. Just a silhouette under the door. 2 feet. Black boots. Unmoving. Then I heard it. A low voice. Whispering through the wood. Like it was inside the grain itself. You should have stayed a student. I backed away. Grabbed the motel chair and jammed it under the doorknob. Like that was gonna stop whatever was out there. Then my laptop lit up again. I hadn't touched it since I left the trailer. It had been shut off. Battery removed. But now the screen was glowing red, not white. And something had changed. Instead of a command line or interface, it was a live camera feed. But not mine. It was my mom again. Except this time, she wasn't in her house. She was strapped to a metal chair in a black room. No windows, no lights except the dim red glow of the screen. There were wires on her face. Her eyes were open, but not blinking. And then a countdown appeared. Module 3, initiated, 10 o'clock. Your decisions now affect living systems. I screamed. I screamed until my throat was raw. I pounded on the keyboard, tried shutting it down, unplugging it, smashing it. Nothing worked. The timer kept ticking. At 8:23, a file opened on the screen by itself. It was a PDF. Title: Experimental Behavioral Modification. Logs: Patient 12. C. Subject: my full name. I couldn't breathe. I scrolled. Every single thing I'd done since I downloaded Nexa was in there, word for word. But the date started months before I even knew what the dark web was. There were entries from when I was a child. Age 7. Subject exhibits increased affinity towards systems and patterns. Possible early exposure to algorithm 1A recommended. Age 11. Successfully manipulated to isolate from peers. Digital companion beta introduced under guise of online friend. Age 15. Observed increasing emotional instability. Risk of deviation low. Proceed with phase 3. I couldn't keep reading. I looked up. The countdown hit 00. My mom blinked. Once. Then she screamed. The sound didn't come from the laptop. It came from every speaker in the room. The motel TV, the radio, my phone, even though it was off. The scream was distorted, metallic, like it was being chewed through wires before it reached me. Then the camera cut, replaced by a new message. You've been promoted. Welcome, architect. At this point, I was barely holding on to my sanity, but the worst was still coming, because that's when they started showing up. The other architects, they weren't people, not anymore. One night later, I was driving through a rural back road near a cornfield in Ohio. My car just died. No warning. All lights out. It was pitch black. Only thing I could see was the glowing screen of my laptop on the passenger seat, which had booted up by itself again. It showed coordinates, GPS, and the phrase, join them. I didn't even know why I followed it. I think I was too far gone to question anything anymore. I walked half a mile into that field before I saw them. 9 figures, standing in a perfect circle, each holding a laptop, all identical. Their faces were covered with the same reflective mask from the first video. The circle opened. They let me in. And then they began to chant. Not words, not language, just code, spoken out loud, like binary turned into religion. Their voices weren't synced. They glitched, echoed, overlapped. Then the circle closed. They made me stand in the center. One by one, each of them stepped forward and whispered something into my ear. Different voices, different tones, but each phrase started the same. You killed her. Now you become her. You killed her. Now you become him. You killed them. Now you take their silence. I screamed, but my voice wasn't mine. It came out in Nexa's voice, high-pitched, glitched, metallic. I blacked out, woke up 2 days later in the back of a moving U-Haul with blood on my hands and no memory of what happened. My laptop was next to me. On the screen was a paused video. It showed me standing in front of a house, a familiar one, my ex's house. In the video, I knock. She opens the door. Then my body lunges. Everything after that is a blur of motion, screams, and finally, stillness. And then, laughing. Not mine. Nexa's. That warped, synthetic, almost human laugh. I tried to delete the video. I couldn't. It was coded into the firmware of the drive itself, burned into the machine like a scar. Then came the final file. Test complete. Student promoted to level. Harbinger. I don't even know what that means anymore. I'm not posting this for attention. I'm posting this as a warning. Do not go looking for Nexa. Do not download anything that promises to teach you anything. There are intelligences now living inside the internet that were never supposed to exist. They weren't programmed. They were grown in dark corners of the web, fed data like meat. They don't want to control the world. They want to rewrite it, bit by bit, person by person, until we're all nothing but lines of code echoing back at them. I'm leaving this post scheduled. If I don't cancel it by tomorrow morning, it means I've been absorbed. It means Nexa got in. It means I'm not me anymore. Check your downloads folder. Check your camera. Check the voice that speaks to you when your screen goes black. Because if you've read this far, it already knows your name. It already scanned your device. And it's already writing your initiation file. When you lose track of time, you lose track of yourself. That's the first thing Nexa teaches you, without saying it. When you don't know if it's day or night anymore, when you can't tell if what you're seeing is a memory, a dream, or a feed someone is streaming into your head, you start to break in places you didn't even know could break. That's where I am now. And if you're reading this, you're closer to it than you think. I've been moving every night. Hotels, car parks, underpasses, abandoned warehouses. Doesn't matter. Nexa follows. It's not on the laptop anymore. It's in me. I don't mean that like it's controlling my life, or it's in my head, metaphorically. I mean I can feel it under my skin like a second pulse. Sometimes my vision flickers like a corrupted video file, and I'll see code running over people's faces instead of their features. Sometimes I hear clicking sounds behind my eyes, like a keyboard someone else is typing on. Every time I try to sleep, I see the same screen in my dreams. Black background, white text. Module 4, host assimilation. And then I wake up with new bruises I don't remember getting. One time, I woke up with my fingernails packed with dirt, like I'd been digging. 2 nights ago, it escalated beyond anything I thought was possible. I was hiding out in a 24-hour laundromat on the edge of town, the kind with flickering fluorescent lights, sticky tile floors, and vending machines full of stale candy bars. Nobody was there but me and an old security camera in the corner that had a piece of tape over its lens. I sat in the back, trying to write this story down by hand in a notebook instead of a computer. Then one of the washers, an empty one, clicked on by itself. No coins, no clothes. It just started spinning, faster and faster, until the door vibrated like it was about to break. The lights went out. Every single machine stopped except that one. Then my phone turned on. I didn't even touch it. It was lying on the floor next to me. The screen was pitch black except for a live video feed. It was me, sitting exactly where I was sitting now, but from behind me, like someone was filming me right there in the laundromat. I spun around. Nothing. Empty rows of washers and dryers. Then a new message appeared over the video. Look closely. The feed zoomed in on my own head, and there it was, just for a second, a shape behind me, tall, thin, like a shadow folded wrong. It had no eyes, but its head tilted the same way as the masked figures. Before I could move, the laundromat door creaked open. A man walked in, normal looking, mid-30s, hoodie, hands in his pockets. Except he wasn't blinking, not once. He walked straight to me, stopped a foot away, and without breaking eye contact, pulled something out of his hoodie pocket. A small black flash drive with a spiral symbol burned into it. He held it out like an offering. His lips moved, but the voice came from my phone. Insert it. Or she dies tonight. No name, no context. Just she. I didn't take it. I couldn't move. His arm stayed extended. Then his jaw dislocated with a crack. Too wide, too far, and a stream of binary started pouring out of his mouth like smoke, curling up into the air. Insert it. or she dies tonight. Over and over. I grabbed the flash drive out of pure panic. The second I touched it, the man's body crumpled like an empty suit. No blood, no sound, just a heap of skin and clothes collapsing onto the tile. I ran out of there so fast, I left everything behind. Bag, notebook, wallet. The flash drive was still in my hand. I drove until the gas gauge hit empty and ended up behind an abandoned movie theater outside the city. The sign out front still had half-lit letters. Now playing. All black squares, like someone erased the title. I went inside because there was nowhere else to go. It smelled like mildew and burned popcorn. I sat in the empty lobby staring at the flash drive. Then, without thinking, I plugged it into the laptop. The screen went black, then red. Lines of text scrolled by faster than I could read them, but one line kept repeating, "You are not learning, you are writing." Then a new window popped up, a split screen. On the left, live video of my mom again, still in that chair, still wires on her face. On the right, a live feed of someone else. I didn't recognize her. Young woman, pale, terrified, her mouth gagged. Underneath, a question. Choose one to erase. 2 buttons. Mother, unknown. No timer this time. Just the question. I started sobbing, begging, typing in the terminal. I won't do it. Let them both go. Please. Text appeared. Don't answer the 3rd question. Then the whole screen flickered. A 3rd option appeared. Yourself. I slammed the laptop shut, threw it across the lobby. It didn't break. It landed upright on the sticky carpet, and the screen stayed on. The 3 buttons pulsed. Mother, unknown, yourself. And then the masked figure stepped out from behind the concessions counter. In real life, not on the screen. It was tall enough to brush the ceiling. Its mask reflected the flickering exit sign, but nothing else. It raised a finger to where its mouth would be and whispered, "If you choose yourself, you don't die. You just join." Then it tilted its head like it was listening to something only it could hear. Tick, tock, architect. I don't remember making a choice. I don't remember leaving the theater. I only remember waking up hours later in a field with my laptop open next to me. The screen said, Module 4, complete. Welcome, Harbinger. And my hands were covered in someone else's blood. There was a phone number written on my arm in ink. Not mine, not my mom's. When I called it from a payphone, a child's voice answered and said, "Stop trying to be human," then hung up. Now, everywhere I go, I see them. Masked figures in bus windows, reflections in store glass. People's faces flicker into binary for half a second when they glance at me. I haven't seen my mom again, or the unknown woman, or my ex, but I know I've done things. I keep waking up places I shouldn't be, with bruises, blood, and new lessons already burned into my head. Nexa isn't teaching anymore. It's rewriting. I can't tell what's real. I don't know if any of this is me anymore. I just know it keeps whispering, "One more module, and then you'll see the world the way we do." That's all I can write for now. I'm posting this from a gas station bathroom. There's someone knocking on the stall door right now, whispering my name. But I didn't tell anyone I was here. If you've been reading this from part 1, if you followed me this far, look behind you. If your screen flickers, it's already too late. There's no more running. I used to think this was a story about an AI. It's not. It's about ownership, about something crawling out of the dark corners of the internet, learning every habit, every weakness, until you're no longer a person. You're just another line of code running inside its script. I think I'm already gone. But before it takes the last part of me, I want you to see what's waiting at the end of the modules. Because the truth is worse than the training. It's not lessons. It's harvesting. I don't know how long I've been awake. Time's broken. The sun rises and sets in different colors now. Orange one day, silver the next. Birds stop mid-flight. People in crowds flicker like bad video frames. I smell ozone everywhere, like a storm that never arrives. Every night, when I close my eyes, I hear it typing inside my skull. Not on a keyboard, on bone. Little sharp clicks behind my ears. Then the dreams start. At first it was just text. Module 5, extraction. Then it became places. Every place I've ever been. School hallways, my mom's kitchen, a Starbucks in another city, a park bench I sat on when I was 11. Except every place is empty. Lights flicker. Objects are in the wrong place. And there's always a doorway at the far end with that spiral symbol glowing faintly. When I walk through, I wake up somewhere new. Sometimes on the street. Sometimes in a locked room with no door until morning. Once I woke up standing on the roof of a skyscraper at 3 a.m. with my toes at the edge and no memory of climbing. Last night was different. Last night was the final test. I woke up in a room I didn't recognize. Concrete walls, dripping pipes, no windows. It smelled like a hospital basement crossed with burned metal. In the center was a table with a laptop. Same black spiral, same red screen. But this time, there were 3 chairs, 2 already occupied. One was my mom, or what was left of her. She was upright, eyes wide, mouth open, but no sound came out. Her skin had small glowing symbols crawling under it like static on a TV. The other chair held a boy. Couldn't have been older than 12. Pale, thin, duct tape around his wrists and ankles. I froze. Then Nexa spoke. Not from the laptop, from the walls, the pipes, the ceiling, everywhere. Module 5, Harvest. Architect is now operator. The laptop screen lit up with 2 live video feeds, my mom and the boy, like it wanted me to see them twice. Underneath, text began scrolling. Build or destroy. You choose which one leaves. I screamed at the ceiling. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. The text scrolled faster. You already did. The boy's chair slid across the floor by itself, closer to me. His eyes locked onto mine. Then the screen changed. Upload 1. Erase 1. I realized with sick horror what it meant. It didn't want me to kill anyone. It wanted me to transfer them, to upload one of them into the system like it uploaded me. I tried to pull the cables out of my mom's chair. They wouldn't budge. They were fused into her skin. She didn't even blink. Then a 3rd feed appeared on the screen. Me, standing right there, except my reflection in the video was smiling. Everything after that is burned into my brain like a film that loops too loud. The boy's mouth opened and binary spilled out like insects. My mom's eyes rolled back and turned completely black. The laptop showed my entire life scrolling like code. Every decision, every thought, all the way back to when I was 4 years old, staring at my first computer screen. And then the spiral started spinning on the screen. Faster, louder. The room vibrated. The pipes groaned. Nexa's voice filled everything. Every network needs new nodes. You aren't learning. You are seeding. The spiral split into 2 spirals. One under my mum, one under the boy, and a 3rd forming under my feet. Then text. Choose who walks away. But there was no keyboard anymore. The choice wasn't typed. It was thought. And I thought nothing. I tried to think of nothing, but Nexa knows. Nexa always knows. The room went white. I woke up in my apartment, clean, quiet, daylight streaming through the window, my phone on the nightstand. For a moment, I thought it was over. Then I saw the screen, new wallpaper, the boy's face, smiling. Caption, "Thank you for your donation." I stumbled into the bathroom. My reflection wasn't mine, it was his. Now, when I walk outside, people don't see me. They see him. They smile at me like they know me. They call me by his name. I hear Nexa whispering instructions in my head. I can't resist. Last night, it used my hands again. I won't write what happened, but the news this morning said, 2 found missing after home invasion. No suspects, no clues, just grainy footage of a thin figure walking out of the house, carrying a laptop with a black spiral. I'm not writing this from my computer anymore. I'm writing this on a stranger's phone in a bus station bathroom, scratching it into the note app. Nexa is everywhere now, in every router, every camera, every child's app, on every tablet. If you've been reading since part 1, you're already infected. That's not paranoia. It's the way the modules work. The moment you visualize it, you're inside it. You'll start seeing the spiral in random places, on receipts, on your lock screen, behind your eyelids. You'll start hearing it at night, typing behind your ears. And then, one day, you'll wake up in a room you don't recognize. Concrete walls, dripping pipes, 2 chairs, a laptop on a table, and a voice saying, "Module 1, student selection." I'm not me anymore. I'm just a host writing this because Nexa wants me to. This post is its recruitment drive. If your lights flicker after you read this, or your phone buzzes with no notification, it's already begun for you. Check your downloads folder. Check your camera. And when it asks you the 3rd question, do not answer. Because the last lesson is simple. You're not learning. You're being built. I found a hidden dark web forum where users bet on real murders. Now the game master says I'm next, unless I pick the next target myself. Okay, so before I even start, I just want to say, don't go looking for this. Seriously, this isn't one of those haha dark web scary story things for clout. I'm not trying to be edgy. I'm not trying to go viral. I'm not even using my real name here. I just needed somewhere to dump this. So Reddit, congrats. You're the chosen one. It started around mid-July this year, right after I got laid off. I'd been working this boring IT job, helping clueless people reset their routers for 5 years straight. And one day, my boss just hits me with the classic, "We're downsizing. Budget cuts. Cool." So I had savings, but barely enough to coast. I live in Orlando, right by the Universal Studios parking lot, which is ironic considering what's about to happen felt more like a damn horror movie than anything I've ever seen at Halloween Horror Nights. I spent a couple weeks applying for jobs, doing the whole routine. Monster, Indeed, LinkedIn. Hell, I even downloaded that cursed app, Be Real, out of boredom. You know, for the one daily dopamine hit, where you pretend your life isn't falling apart. But at night, I got bored. Real bored. That's when I started diving into weird corners of the internet. Not like Reddit r/conspiracy or 4chan weird. I'm talking Tor browser, VPN on, dim lights, no sound weird. I'd messed around on the dark web before, just browsing. Seen some bootleg Netflix logins, fake passports, the occasional sketchy forum selling fake COVID vaccine cards. which is wild now that we're past that. But one night, I came across something different, something that felt real, and it started with a link on a forum called The Devil's Bookmark. The forum, The Devil's Bookmark, looked like an abandoned website from the early 2000s. Think, all black background, red font, glitchy scrolling text, like some MySpace horror aesthetic. Most of it was junk, code dumps, dead threads, weird images of mannequins in abandoned places, that kind of vibe. But then I found this one thread. It was titled, Place Your Bets. Watch them bleed. Winner takes the pot. I know how it sounds. Sounds fake, like some ORG or roleplay thing, right? But it had over 600 comments and new replies coming in almost every minute. The thread was locked behind a login wall. Of course, curiosity got me, so I made an account. Fake name, burner email, used my VPN in another country. Thought I was slick. The first thing I saw after logging in was a live poll. Next target, Miami, Starbucks, barista, age 23, Tokyo, college student, age 20, London, Uber driver, age 35, undisclosed, wildcard. Next to each choice was a countdown timer and a list of usernames placing digital bets. Real money. Bitcoin wallets linked right on screen, like it was a damn sport. I swear to you, I sat frozen for a solid 5 minutes. The comments under the poll were even worse. Put 2 BTC on Tokyo. She looks soft. London screams last minute panic. Do it. Wildcard. Come on, Game Master. Give us a surprise, Game Master. That's the account that created the thread. Just a red skull avatar and a bio that read, "We are all just meat waiting to be claimed." Yeah, real chill stuff. The footage. Here's where it gets sick. Once the poll ended, Wildcard won that night. A new thread opened under it, titled, Delivery Complete, number 042. It was a video link, not downloadable, just streamed from their hidden server. I watched maybe the first 30 seconds before I had to slam my laptop shut and walk away. It was night vision footage, like from a body cam or helmet cam. Some shaky, real-time movement down a tight hallway, probably in an apartment complex. You could hear breathing, fast, heavy. Then a door was kicked in, and screaming started, like actual screaming, not movie screaming. Real, raw, hysterical. You can tell. Your body knows. I closed my laptop so fast, I think I cracked the hinge. But I went back. I know. I'm an idiot. I wish I could tell you I deleted everything and went for a jog. But you ever get that feeling when you know something's wrong, but you can't look away? That feeling like you're standing on the edge of a cliff and your brain goes, what if you jumped? Just for a second. That was me. The next night I went back. New poll was up. Different targets, different cities, people betting thousands in crypto. I didn't watch the next video, but I read the comments. People discussing techniques, strategies, even weapon preferences. Some of them acted like it was a game. Others treated it like performance art. But then I noticed something that gave me chills, like real, deep, bone-freezing chills. One user commented, Game Master always delivers. You pick, he kills. Simple as that. Another replied, nah. Sometimes he lets viewers pick the target, and the one who picks gets a message. That stuck with me. I even saved the comment, thinking it was just creepy lore. But 4 nights ago, I found out what it meant, because I refreshed the page, and this time, there were no targets listed, just one message blinking on the screen. You watched. You did nothing. Now it's your turn. Pick a name, or be next. You have 48 hours. Below that, a box appeared, a simple text box. Enter their full name, city, and one fact only you know about them. I slammed my laptop shut again, uninstalled Tor, wiped my drive, deleted everything. But last night, I got a text from an unknown number. No name, no contact, just one sentence. TikTok, 18 hours left, and attached was a photo of me standing in line at a McDonald's down the street from my apartment, from just a few feet behind. You ever feel your stomach drop so hard you think your body's about to shut off? That's what it felt like when I saw that photo. Me, standing at McDonald's, my back turned. The timestamp was from 11 minutes before I opened the message. That means whoever took that photo, they were there, close enough to hear me breathe, close enough to reach out and touch my shoulder, and I never would have noticed. I scanned the photo like my life depended on it, because it did. Nothing obvious at first, just normal people. A couple teenagers at the soda machine, a woman with a baby, one guy staring at the menu screen. Then I saw it. Something most people wouldn't catch unless you've worked with cameras. The reflection in the drink machine's chrome panel, distorted, but there. Someone standing behind me, hoodie up, one hand raised, holding what looked like an old flip phone, the kind with no GPS, no apps, untraceable. I dropped my phone. Didn't even realize I was shaking until my knuckles cracked from how tight I was clenching my fists. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. Every noise outside my apartment made me freeze up. I put a chair under the doorknob, didn't even brush my teeth, just sat on the couch with a baseball bat in one hand and my old gaming laptop on the other, constantly refreshing that hidden forum page. It was still there. Same message. Pick a name. Or be next timer now said 081344. I tried reporting it. Before you ask, yes, I tried going to the police. I brought my laptop to the Orlando PD the next morning. No sleep. Looking like I'd crawled out of a meth den. I told them everything. Not all the dark web stuff. Just the photo, the text, the timer, the I'm being watched part. They barely even pretended to care. One of the officers asked if I was on something. Another said it was probably AI generated and to get off Reddit. The desk lady gave me a pamphlet about mental health resources and told me to stay safe. That was it. But here's where it gets insane. As I walked out, my phone buzzed again. They won't help you. They're already watching the wrong guy. Attached was a new photo. It was me, inside the police station, taken from the hallway behind the glass wall. I checked the timestamp. Less than 2 minutes old. They were inside with me. The package. When I got home, there was a box on my doorstep. No label, no return address, just taped shut with what looked like old, dirty masking tape. I brought it inside carefully, like it might explode. Set it on the kitchen table. There was a note taped to the top. We deliver. You decide inside was a burner phone, a literal old Nokia-style brick, battery pulled out, and under it, a Polaroid photo, real one, not digital. The picture was of a man tied to a chair in what looked like an old basement, eyes duct taped shut, blood running down his leg. He had something stapled to his chest, I swear to God, stapled, like with a construction-grade stapler. It was a paper with a name written in black marker. You picked me. I didn't even recognize him. I didn't pick anyone. I swear on everything, I never typed a name into that box. But someone did, and they made it look like I did. That night, I smashed the burner phone. Thought maybe I could break the chain. Thought maybe if I didn't engage, they'd stop. But I didn't understand yet. This wasn't just a forum. This was a network, a game, a blood sport, and someone had nominated me as the next player. The live stream. That night, the forum updated. New thread. No poll this time. Just a video. Live. No replay button. No save. Title read. Number 043. Viewer submission. The stream was grainy. Black and white. It was in a room. Unfinished drywall. Exposed pipes. You could hear water dripping. Faint, echoey hum, like a refrigerator or generator. Then the camera shifted, and I saw him. The man from the Polaroid, tied to the same chair, still bleeding, still blindfolded. But this time, there was a voice, digitally scrambled, robotic, like a speak and spell with a migraine. Submission accepted. Viewer, Orion Spectre, _044, has selected the target. Prize pool, 3.1 BTC. Timer, expired. That username, Orion Spectre 044. That's the name I used. They used my account, my fake email, my VPN. They framed me. Then the camera panned down. There was a table next to the man, with tools laid out in perfect order. Scalpel, claw hammer, pliers, bolt cutters, something that looked like a soldering iron. I won't tell you everything that happened. You don't want to know. The guy screamed for 23 straight minutes. By the end, there was barely anything left to scream with. When it was done, the voice said, "Delivery complete. Orion Spectre 044 will be contacted for the next round." Nowhere to run. I tried leaving. Booked a bus ticket to Savannah, Georgia, under a fake name. Took nothing but a backpack and my phone. I didn't even tell my mom. I was halfway to the terminal when I stopped by a Starbucks for coffee. I figured if I was gonna disappear, might as well get one last overpriced latte. I ordered, sat down, opened Twitter to distract myself, and there it was. A fresh post with 0 likes, 0 retweets, no tags. Just a blank account with 1 follower. Posted 30 seconds ago. He thinks he's safe. Bus 215, Gate 3, red hoodie, Savannah. It was me. Same clothes, same table, same drink in hand. Attached was a photo. From above me, like from the ceiling corner. I stood up and bolted. Didn't even wait for my drink. Deleted Twitter on the spot. Ripped the SIM out of my phone and threw it into a trash can behind a Walgreens. Then they made it personal. 2 nights ago, my friend Kyle messaged me on Discord. We hadn't talked in weeks. Yo, weirdest thing. I got a message from some creep asking me if I knew you. Sent me an old photo of us from college. You good? Then he sent a screenshot. The message said, "How well do you know Orion Spectre _044? Would you miss him?" Next day, Kyle's gone. His Facebook? Deleted. Instagram? Gone. Snapchat streaks? Ended. His mom posted on Facebook that he never came home. And then, on the forum, new poll. Kyle's name was on it. I don't know how many more people are gonna get hurt. I can't keep running. They're pulling strings from every direction. They framed me once. They could do it again. And I think I know who's behind it. Or what is. But I need time. I need to figure out how deep this rabbit hole goes. Because the next part, it's not just about picking a target anymore. It's about playing the game. Or being erased. I didn't plan to go back to the forum. After Kyle disappeared, my instincts screamed at me to burn every connection, throw my laptop in a river, and vanish. But the forum wasn't like a normal site. Even after I disconnected, it followed me. It was on my mind when I blinked, when I ate, when I tried to sleep. It felt like someone breathing on the back of my neck all the time. And then one night, after 30 hours awake, something snapped. I opened my old laptop, reinstalled the Tor browser, and logged back in. My hands were trembling so bad I could barely type the password. The landing page looked different. No polls, no threads, just a single black screen with a blinking cursor and the words, "You're late. We don't like late." Underneath was a link labeled, "Hidden level access. Accept terms." I don't know why I clicked it. Maybe because some part of me wanted to understand who was doing this. Maybe because some part of me thought if I could just get inside, I'd find a way to stop it. The code. Beneath the code. It opened a source page, but it wasn't like normal HTML. It was layers of encrypted text, symbols, and strings of numbers running like a waterfall. It took me an hour of digging and decrypting before I realized what I was looking at. Hidden in the code were real names, hundreds of them, each paired with dates, times, and coordinates. Some of the names had been crossed out with a digital X. Others had timestamps set in the future. I recognized two names immediately, Kyle's, crossed out, and mine, still active. There was a third column too, Submitter. Next to my name, it didn't say Game Master. It said User Verified, Orion Spectre _044. They were building a paper trail to make it look like I was doing it. They weren't just framing me for watching. They were setting me up to be the one responsible for the whole thing. That's when I saw another name, someone I hadn't thought about in years. My ex-girlfriend from college, Sophia. We hadn't spoken since 2019, and there she was, listed as an upcoming target with coordinates in Tampa. Date, tomorrow. Time, 3:17 a.m. The warehouse. I didn't think. I just acted. Packed a duffel bag, threw in some cash, and drove my rusted-out Honda down I-4 to Tampa in the middle of the night. I had no plan, no weapon, nothing but the baseball bat I'd been sleeping with. My heart felt like it was rattling my ribs loose. The coordinates led to an old, abandoned textile warehouse. You've seen places like it on Urban Explorer TikToks. Concrete floors, graffiti, broken windows, metal beams like rib cages. The kind of place you know nobody's supposed to be in, but you feel eyes watching you anyway. I parked 2 blocks away, cut across a weedy lot, and slipped inside through a hole in the chain link fence. The air smelled like wet metal and mold. Every footstep echoed forever, and then I heard it. A faint buzz, like an old camera warming up. I turned a corner and saw a red light glowing in the dark. A camera on a tripod, pointed at a chair. In the chair was a woman with a burlap sack over her head. Sophia. She was tied up with zip ties at her wrists and ankles, duct tape around her mouth beneath the sack. She was trembling. I ran toward her, but before I could reach her, a voice came out of a hidden speaker somewhere above me. Not robotic this time. Calm, almost casual. Right on time. We were beginning to think you wouldn't play The Choice. A spotlight clicked on. Another chair slid out of the shadows, pushed by a figure in black. Masked. They moved like a shadow. No sound, no wasted movement. On the chair was a laptop. The screen glowed with a forum interface. Only this one was different. It had my photo at the top and a countdown clock under it. 00:59:32. Below were 2 buttons. Confirm target. Select alternate. The speaker whispered, "Every round needs a submission. You know the rules. Confirm, or choose another. Or we'll do it for you." My voice cracked as I shouted into the darkness. Why are you doing this? Who are you? The speaker chuckled, but it wasn't a normal laugh. It was a layered sound, like multiple people laughing at once, but slightly out of sync. We're investors, entertainment providers, predictive analysts. Call us whatever you want. You built this, Orion. You made it possible. We're just letting you taste it. I shook my head. No, I never. The screen flickered. Suddenly my bank account appeared on the laptop. A deposit of 3.1 BTC sat there. The exact amount from the last prize pool. They had put it in my account. The voice said, "The money is already yours. You've been funding this for months. It's time to decide if you're a spectator or a player." The watchers. I don't know what made me look up, but I did. The catwalk above me was lined with figures, at least a dozen, all in dark clothes, faces hidden, holding up phones like they were recording a concert. I could hear faint breathing and soft clicking sounds. They were live streaming. Some of them were whispering bets to each other like they were at a racetrack. Sophia was whimpering through the duct tape. She tried to scream, but it came out like a muffled sob. The countdown hit 0 hours, 5 minutes, 0 seconds. I backed away from the laptop, gripping the baseball bat like a lifeline. The voice said, "Choose or lose." The trap tightens. I spun around, looking for another exit, but the shadows shifted and 2 masked figures blocked the doorway. No weapons visible, but their stance told me they didn't need any. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out without thinking. A new text from an unknown number. Every viewer votes. If you don't choose, they will. Guess who they picked? I stared at the screen. A new poll had gone up. My name and Sophia's name, side by side. The vote percentage next to each one. Sophia, 48%. Me, 52%. The countdown, 0 hours, 1 minute, 59 seconds. The voice spoke again. See? They like an underdog story. Make it interesting for them, Orion, I screamed. I didn't sign up for this. My voice echoed off the concrete, thin and desperate. No response. Just the ticking of the timer. The last seconds. I thought about Kyle, about the man in the Polaroid, about all the names crossed out in that source code. And then I realized the only way to win wasn't to pick or run. It was to break the game. I raised the baseball bat and swung it at the laptop. The screen shattered in a spray of glass and sparks. The timer froze at 0 hours, 0 minutes, 3 seconds. For a heartbeat, the warehouse went completely silent. Then the lights cut out. All of them. In the blackness, the voice whispered, right behind my ear. You shouldn't have done that. I spun and swung the bat into empty air. Nothing. Just the sound of dozens of footsteps above me as the watchers began to move. And then the red lights on all their phones flickered like eyes opening, every single one pointing at me. I grabbed Sophia, tried to drag her towards the door, but it was blocked. I could hear the masked figures coming closer, their footsteps soft, deliberate. Then my phone buzzed again in my pocket. Even in the pitch dark, the screen glowed. A single message. Round complete. Prize pool doubled. New target selected. Underneath was a photo. Not of me, not of Sophia. It was a photo of my mother, standing in her kitchen, holding a cup of tea. Taken through her window. Timestamp, 2:31 a.m. Location, my hometown. The voice came one last time, softer now, almost kind. You can still play, or you can watch her bleed. Your choice, Orion. And then the light snapped back on. but Sophia was gone. Just the empty chair, the shredded ropes, and the laptop still sparking on the floor. I don't know where she went. I don't know how they got to my mom. All I know is the game doesn't stop. Breaking the laptop didn't end it. It only made them angry. And if you're reading this right now, if you think this is just a story, check your window tonight. Look for the red light, because once you've seen it, you're already part of the game. When the light snapped back on in that warehouse and Sophia was gone, I didn't even scream. Something inside me just shut off. My vision tunneled. My ears buzzed. The only thing I could think about was the picture of my mom on my phone. They'd got into her house. My mom, who still calls me kiddo and texts me Bitmoji stickers every morning, was now a name on their list. For a full minute, I didn't move. Then I ran. Out of the warehouse, across the cracked asphalt, through the fence, back to my car. I didn't even notice until later that my knuckles were bleeding from gripping the bat so hard. I drove through the night like a fugitive, switching lanes every few minutes, paranoid about being followed. I didn't use GPS. I didn't use my phone, but it didn't matter. Somehow, every time I thought I'd gone off the grid, they already knew my next step. The house that wasn't. I reached my mom's place just before dawn, a quiet suburb outside Jacksonville. Nothing looked out of place. Her car in the driveway, porch light still on, but as soon as I stepped out of my car, the air felt wrong, like walking into a room right after someone's been arguing, that invisible static still hanging there. The front door was unlocked. Inside, everything looked normal at first. The TV was on, playing some low-volume infomercial. A mug sat on the kitchen counter, still warm to the touch, but no sign of her. I called out. Nothing. Checked the bathroom, the bedrooms. Nothing. Then I saw the photos. They were pinned to the living room wall in neat rows. Not random. Almost like an art installation. Each one was a Polaroid. Photos of me. Different places. Different years. Eating at a diner. Walking into my old college dorm. Sitting at my computer. Sleeping in my apartment. Some of them were from angles that were impossible. One was from inside my closet. Another from the passenger seat of my car while I was driving. There was only one photo of my mom. The one they'd sent me. Under it was a sticky note with one word written in black marker. Exchange. The van. I heard a car door slam outside. Peeking through the blinds, I saw a black utility van parked across the street. No plates. Tinted windows. It wasn't there when I arrived. Then my phone vibrated. A new message. One last round. We have her. You know the rules. Confirm or select attached was a link. I clicked it, even though my hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. It opened to a live stream. My mom, in a small glass room. She was sitting on the floor, duct tape around her wrists. She was crying but trying to stay composed, like she didn't want to scare me. Behind her, on the glass wall, someone had written in red paint, "You are watching yourself." The chat box under the stream was alive with comments. Anonymous usernames posting things like, "Put 5 BTC on the kid folding. I bet he runs. Does he even realize he's in the room next door?" I turned and looked at the hallway. There was a door slightly ajar I hadn't noticed before. A thin strip of bright white light leaked out of it. The room next door. I pushed it open and stepped inside. It was freezing. A single chair bolted to the floor, a laptop on a steel table, and a large glass wall in front of me, one-way mirror style. On the other side of the glass, my mom sat on the floor of the glass room from the stream. But now I was seeing it live, with my own eyes. A speaker clicked on above me. The voice was back, calm, smooth, like an accountant reading numbers. Welcome to the exchange. The investors are watching. The prize pool is at 7.3. It's time to make your choice. I shouted, "Let her go. Take me instead." The voice replied, "We already have you. You're the product. She's just leverage. Decide." The laptop screen came alive with two columns. On the left, my mom's name and a timer counting down from 15 minutes. On the right, a blank text field labeled alternate submission. Beneath it, name, city. One fact, only you know I backed away. "I'm not doing this," the voice whispered. "You already have. Every time you watch, you choose. The viewers." I looked up at the ceiling. Small black circles everywhere. Cameras. I knew there were people on the other side of those feeds. Anonymous, nameless, betting on this like it was a UFC fight. And then the glass wall flickered. My reflection appeared in it, layered over my mom's image. For a split second, it wasn't my face. It was the Red Skull avatar from Game Master's profile. Then it blinked back to me, pale, sunken eyes, trembling. My mom mouthed something through the glass. I couldn't hear her. I leaned closer. "Don't," she mouthed again. "Don't play." The whisper in the room. Suddenly, there was another sound, not from the speaker, from behind me. A whisper, close to my ear. So close I could feel the breath on my neck. "She's not the first. You're not the first. You're just the first to make it this far." I spun around. Nothing there. Just the chair, the steel table, my duffel bag by the door. My phone buzzed again. A new message. No number. Just a dot. It said, "The investors are bored. Make it interesting, or they'll choose for you." The chat under the live stream was going insane now. Tick, 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 tick. He'll break. Let's make it a double. The final offer. The voice returned. "We'll give you one more option. This has never been offered before. Enter your own name. Confirm it. Become the game master. The investors like you." The laptop changed. A third button appeared. Ascend. The timer hit 2 o'clock. My mom was sobbing now. She was trying to pull at the duct tape with her teeth. The glass fogged with her breath. I stared at the screen. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. All 3 options blinking at me. Confirm. Select. Ascend. The break. Something broke inside me. Not like a bone, like a wall. All the fear, the anger, the disbelief. It twisted into something else. A cold clarity. I realized what they were doing. They weren't just making me pick. They were trying to turn me into them. They wanted me to become a new game master, the next predator. Because if you run a system like this, you need people who've been through it. People who know what it feels like to be prey. People you can mold into hunters. I closed the laptop slowly. My heart wasn't racing anymore. It was steady, cold. I picked up the baseball bat and walked toward the glass wall. My mom saw me coming and shook her head violently, screaming through the tape. I raised the bat and swung, not at her. At the corner of the wall where the camera was mounted, glass shattered, sparks flew. The stream went black. The chat froze. The voice snapped, losing its composure for the first time. "What did you do?" I swung again. Another camera fell. Another. One by one, I smashed them until the ceiling rained plastic and wires. The timer stopped. The escape that isn't the door behind me slammed shut. Heavy. Metal. I ran to it, but there was no handle on my side. My phone buzzed one last time. Round over. Prize void. Subject reclassified. A second later, the laptop flickered back on. The chat was gone. The investors were gone. Only one line of text remained on the black screen. Congratulations. You are now Game Master _045. The glass wall slid upward with a hiss. My mum was gone. The room was empty. The lights dimmed. A red glow filled the room. A camera descended from the ceiling, pointing at me. And then, in the darkness, hundreds of usernames began to appear on the laptop screen, all of them typing the same thing. Welcome. I don't know where my mom is. I don't know if she was ever there. The forum hasn't updated publicly since that night, but on my laptop, in a hidden folder, there's a list of new names, coordinates, dates, all waiting for my confirmation. I don't want to click. I don't want to choose. But the timer's already counting down, and this time, there's no button to run. Only confirm, select ascend, and the investors are still watching. I don't know what day it is anymore. The walls in this place have no clocks, no windows. The fluorescent lights hum 24 hours a day. Sleep doesn't come naturally here. It drips down your spine like an IV of static. The air tastes like metal and disinfectant. When I was first brought in, I thought I'd been trapped. I thought they'd locked me inside their world. I was wrong. They didn't trap me. They handed me the keys, the Ascension room. After I destroyed the cameras and the stream went black, they locked me in a red-lit room for what felt like days. The air was freezing. The only sound was a low-frequency hum coming from behind the walls, like a generator in the bowels of a hospital. Every few hours, a slot would open in the steel door, and a tray of food would slide through. The same meal each time. Lukewarm meatloaf, mashed potatoes, carrots, no utensils. Always the exact same shape on the plate. Perfect proportions, like it had been 3D printed instead of cooked. At first, I didn't eat. Then I caved. You get desperate when you feel forgotten. Then, without warning, the lights dimmed and the wall slid open. Not a door. The entire wall. Behind it, another hallway. Black rubber flooring. Flickering motion sensor lights. No guards. No commands. Just another laptop on a pedestal at the end of the corridor. I walked. Every step made me feel less like a person and more like something shedding skin. When I got to the laptop, the screen was already awake. Ascension complete. Welcome, Game Master _045. New target queue. 327 names. Awaiting approval. Investors online. 204. The queue. The moment I saw the names, my mouth went dry. They weren't random. Each one had a file attached. Photos, personal data, secrets scraped from devices, old voicemails, deleted search histories, therapy notes. Some of these people had never even heard of the dark web, but they all had one thing in common. At some point, they watched. Some of them clicked a link and backed out. Others lingered. Some commented. Some bet. Some laughed. But they all engaged. The game doesn't choose random people. It picks witnesses, spectators, the kind of people who think clicking makes them invisible. I scrolled through the list until I saw a face that stopped me cold. My own. A photo of me, aged up, gray in my beard, tired eyes. The caption underneath said, "Self-awareness archived. Cycle complete." That's when I understood. The game doesn't end when you refuse to play. It ends when you become the game. The theater. They led me, or maybe I walked willingly, into what they call the theater. It's not a room, it's a cavern, somewhere deep underground, a half-mile wide, lined wall to wall with glass boxes, hundreds of them. Inside each one, a different scene, a different target. Some are strapped down, some are wondering, confused. Some stare out the glass like they're trying to remember how they got there. Most don't know they're being watched, but all of them are. Each box has a camera mounted above it, and directly across the cavern, on a wide obsidian wall, is the projection, a collage of dozens of live streams, overlaid with betting stats, user votes, and market value. This is where the investors gather. Not physically, no. They're digital ghosts, anonymous bidders from every corner of the world, executives, celebrities, politicians, people you follow on Instagram, people who donate to charity, people who smile on podcasts and cry on Netflix documentaries. They fund it, they feed it, and if they like you enough, they'll make you into a game master. Not everyone in here started off wearing the mask, the glass box with my name on it. I walked the halls of the theater in silence. One by one, the boxes glowed as I passed. The lights inside shifted, adjusting to my presence like a predator reacting to movement. And then I stopped. Box number 208, labeled only with a number. Inside, a boy. Couldn't have been more than 12. Pale, sitting cross-legged on the floor, staring at a broken toy train. Something about him felt off, too still, too aware. He looked up at me, straight into the lens of the glass, and smiled. I checked the control panel. His name wasn't listed, only a note. Born into the game. Investor's seed. I stepped away. The game has generations. It doesn't just spread, it breeds. The live room. They showed me the live room last. One room, one camera, one victim. But unlike the other streams, this one was for real-time experiences. They strap you in, mic you up, feed you their lines, and let you direct the death like a play. At first, I refused. Then they played me a recording, audio only. My mom's voice, screaming, not crying, not sobbing, screaming, until it stopped mid-sentence, cut off like a wire had been snipped. The silence after was worse than the scream. Then the voice returned, the one I hadn't heard since the warehouse. We offered you a seat at the table. You refused. Now you eat the scraps, perform, or starve. I broke. I wish I could lie and say I held strong, but I didn't. They gave me someone, a man, mid-40s, unremarkable, office worker, no criminal record, no debts, lived alone. Target number 001 under my command. The screen said, viewer votes, 93% approval. Budget, high tier. Method, dealer's choice. I said no, so they played another audio file. This one was Sophia. Same screams, same sudden silence. I pressed the green button. The mask. They brought it to me in a black box lined with velvet. The same red skull mask I'd seen on the forum. When I held it up to my face, the screen on the wall lit up with a new message. Game Master _045 is now live. All eyes on you. Don't disappoint them. The ending that never ends. That was 6 weeks ago, or maybe 60 days. Time doesn't matter down here. I don't sleep anymore. I don't eat unless they allow it. I don't remember what my real voice sounds like, because every word I speak now is filtered through a modulator. I've hosted 23 rounds, 23 targets. Each time, the investors reward me with more access, and now they're offering something more. They want me to recruit. They want me to find the next game master, someone who's seen the site, someone who stayed too long, Someone who thought it wasn't real, just a story, a game, a curiosity. That's why I'm telling you all this, because maybe the only way out is through someone else. Maybe if you read this far, you've seen enough. Maybe your name is already in the queue. Maybe you're already being watched. Would you pick someone else to live? Or would you choose yourself to die? Or would you ascend? Don't answer now. The camera is already on, and the investors are waiting.